Hello students, today we try to understand about changes around us. Our heading today, changes around us. So we notice changes everywhere daily. Cooking of food, certain changes there. Growing of plants, certain changes there. Yes, so different changes we notice daily in our daily life. So what are changes and in what categories we can divide these changes? Today we try to understand. So one thing is very clear that changes occur all around us. Everywhere changes take place. What changes you just notice? You see some of the changes. I just give some examples. Some of the changes you see. Cooking of food, certain changes there. Fresh vegetable is there and you cook, then it will prepare food, tasty food. So that is a certain change. Drying of cloths, it is also a change. Wet cloth is there, then we can dry that cloth, so certain changes there. Growing of trees, this one is also a change. So all are just changes, which all are just changes around us. Ripening of fruits, this one is also a change. So different changes we have around us, we notice these changes. You know that previously some matter is there, obviously you know that we just wash cloth, so cloth is wet, then we dry this cloth, then ironing is there. So in that way cloth is the same but certain change is there. Okay, you know that one small child is there that just grow and become an adult, so that is also a change. So different category of changes are there. Two categories mainly we will discuss about that. Okay, so see, these are the changes you must understand. Now in two categories these changes we just categorize. You see, all changes can be categorized into two groups. All changes can be categorized into two groups. Okay, what are two groups? You see, first one is physical change. First one is physical change and second one is chemical change. Physical change and chemical change. Physical change, student, only physically they change, means what matter, the matter is not changing. Okay, so matter remains the same. As for example, tearing of paper, one paper you just tear, so after tearing also a small pieces it may be, but paper remains the same, paper is not going to change. So tearing of paper, that is a physical change. And chemical change, you just burn that paper, so when you just burn it changes into ash, so in that way that cannot be reversed again. So in chemical changes completely the product changes, that's why it is known as chemical change. In chemical composition certain changes take place. So one by one we try to understand these two changes. All changes can be categorized into two groups, that is physical change and chemical change. Let's see what are the physical change and chemical change. First one we have physical change. See, physical change, student. What is this physical change? You see, physical change is a type of change. Physical change is a type of change in which physical change is a type of change in which only the physical state of the substance changes. Means in this only physical state of substance changes, and no new substance is formed. This one is very important, student. New substance is not formed. You just remember this point. No new substance is formed means in a physical change only physical state will change. New substance is not formed. Through some example you will understand very clearly. Just see some examples. Okay. Melting of ice. So melting of ice means ice will just melt and turn into water, liquid water. But this remains chemically, this thing remains the same, there is no change. Next, melting of butter. This one is also physical change. No new substance is formed. Butter melts. You suppose that butter melted, then butter is changed in other substance. No, butter remains still butter. So butter is not going to change even it is in frozen state or in liquid state. Butter remains butter. So that is the main thing. There is no new substance formed in this. See, breaking of glass. Suppose that one glass is there, glass bottle or anything, and that breaks. Then what do you think? That glass becomes one new substance. Glass becomes iron. No, there is no change. Glass remains glass. So in this case, this one is physical change. No new substance is formed. Melting of ice cream. So when ice cream melts, even though it is just same taste it has and it is not changed entirely, it is only state is changed. That's why melting of ice cream is just a physical change. So in this way, what we understood, one more you just write. Tearing of paper. When we tear paper, suppose that one paper I just tear in a small pieces, then what do you think? That a small piece is changed? No, that small piece of paper has the same quality of that paper. So there is no change, nothing is changed, only state is changed. So this one is a physical change. Okay student, try to understand this. Physical change, in physical change no new substance is formed, and in chemical change new substance is formed. That is the basic difference. In these all things, after change also they remain the same. Next, what we have, you see, next we have chemical change. Okay, second one we have chemical change. What actually happen in here, you see, chemical change is a type of change. Chemical change is a type of change. Chemical change is a type of change in which the chemical composition means entirely matter will change. Chemical composition of a substance, chemical composition of a substance changes. Chemical composition of a substance changes, and a new substance is formed, students. Okay, so you see, in this chemical change new substance is formed. Chemically they just change. Okay, so chemical composition change, that's why a new substance is formed. When I just give some examples, you will understand very easily. So through examples we try to understand. See, burning of paper. So burning of paper is a chemical change. When once you burn that paper, that will turn into ash. That is entirely different thing. So this burning of paper is a chemical change. Most chemical changes are irreversible. You cannot reverse it. So that is irreversible change also. So most of the chemical changes are irreversible changes. Burning of paper is an example. You see, second example, making of curd. When you just make curd from milk, just see, when you just make curd from milk, then you see curd is entirely different from the milk. So this one is just a chemical change. Cooking of food. When you cook food, then obviously the vegetables change their properties. In that sense, cooking of food is a chemical change. So we studied about physical and chemical change. This one is the last topic of our this chapter. Next I'll discuss about the question answer. So you try to go through this video. Physical and chemical change, very important. All the changes around us can be categorized into two groups, physical and chemical change. Physical change, simply no new substance is formed. Chemical change, new substance is formed. So this concept you have to remember. Okay students.